allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Diane Allen. Here. Ray Morrissey.
Here.
Jamie Schiffer.
Here.
Joe Turner.
Here.
Al Lewis.
Here.
Okay, acknowledgement and announcements. The annual dog licensing is from April 1st to July 1st, $6, and after June 1st, $6 plus $25. For license. And you can get these at the clerk's office, the animal shelter, are online. For more information, visit the town's website. Also, Exeter Fire District Annual Budget Meeting is Wednesday, May 13th, 2026, 7 o'clock at the Exeter West Greenwich Junior Senior High Auditorium, 930 New Snake Hill Road, West Greenwich, Rhode Island. Then our financial town meeting is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, 7 p.m. at the Exeter West Greenwich Junior Senior High School, 930 New Snake Hill Road, West Greenwich. And the Governor Daniel McKee, Certificate of Special Recognition to the Town of Exeter Department of Public Works. And we did get something from Dan McKee complimenting our Department of Public Works for all the hard work they did during the snowstorm.
And we just let these folks know a week from tonight that having a public hearing on the budget.
Okay, yes.
Budget a week from tonight.
May 9th.
11.
We'll be meeting here for the budget. Okay, approval of the agenda order.
So I'll make a motion to the agenda order.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Does anyone want to pull anything? Reynolds Charitable Trust, communications, anyone want to pull? I was going to pull 4, 7, and 10.
Number 2,
Number 2, Ray.
yes.
Jamie.
Jenny? Doug?
Excuse me 1 second. Defer to Cal, please.
Yep. Cal? No.
Nothing.
Nothing,
Thanks.
okay. Bill sheets, approval of minutes, does anyone want to pull any of those?
Special meeting from April 29th. D6.
And April 22nd, Joe was absent. So those 2 should be full.
Okay. That's it. Okay. All right, approval of the bill sheet. Approval of the consent. Oh, and I'm recusing on the bill sheet, actually. So we'll pull the bill sheet. Special meeting April 22nd, and the special meeting April 29th. Anything else we need to pull? Okay, motion to approve the consent agenda, pulling those 3 items.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of the bill sheet. Okay. Somebody has to.
Move to approve the motion.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
1 abstain. Okay, Special meeting, April 22nd. I'll make a motion to approve the special meeting, April 22nd. Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Joe. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the special meeting, April 29th.
Second.
Second. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
One abstain.
Personnel board, 5 members needed. Nothing. Exeter Rural Preservation Trust Committee, members 3 needed to serve 4-year terms, beginning date of appointment. Nothing. Board of Tax Assessment Review, alternate member, 1 needed. Nothing. Resignations, we don't have any. Appointments, we don't have anyone for the planning board yet. None, and expiring terms, none. Okay, so we're going to open the public hearing, so I'm gonna open, open the Exeter Liquor Licensing Board. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will open the liquor license application, retailers class BV liquor license, Matthew Richardson, applicant, Crooked Barn Brewery, Helmsley Place, Exeter. Is Richard here?
Yep.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I can just give a little background as to why we're here for this tonight. Basically, we have what's called a manufacturer brewer's license from the state, from the Department of Business Regulation, that allows us to make beer and then sell that beer that we make. It's sort of a weird, DBR has realized that it's sort of a weird loophole they've created in that we don't need a liquor license for that. We just have this manufacturer license to make beer and sell beer. When we opened, there were only, I think, 3 or 4 breweries in the state at the time, and so it wasn't a big deal. Now there's 40, and so they're really trying to rein that in and trying to get people to not only have to have liquor licenses, but also to serve food with that, because most bars that you go to, you have to serve food, and they want to have breweries be the same. So they want most people to switch to what they have as a brew pub license, which you can serve food, and it requires you to have a liquor license, so that we have sort of more regulations from the town and from the state. And so we're in the early process of doing that. We were here before about trying to install a pizza oven, and so we're sort of in the planning phase for that now. There was an ordinance that was passed for a farm cafe that would let us do that. And so we're in the planning phases for that, but we don't want to go too far down the road without knowing that we can have this brew pub license which would let us serve food. And so we're kind of like a chicken and egg thing. So we applied to the state for this brew pub license to make sure that we can get that. And they said, well, you need to have a liquor license from the town to have the brew pub license. So,
We have,
Just
never
making
before.
everything more complicated.
It's never had, oh,
yeah, it is a weird, and we, Sue Hawksley inspects this every year, even though, she said, I'm gonna inspect you every year, so that's fine from the fire standpoint, because, not having a liquor license doesn't trip her to have to do that, but she does it anyway, so that's fine. There's just, without a liquor license, there's not much regulation from the town and also from the state, and so that's why I think the state is trying to really push for everyone to get this liquor license to do this, so, that's why we need today.
so you've been serving beer over there all these years, and we never did that.
Yeah.
You just,
We never had to, we weren't required to. It wasn't that we didn't ask to, it's just we weren't required to. We have all the tip certification, we have all the liability insurance and liquor insurance that we need that we would have otherwise, we just haven't had to have a liquor license. It's just a weird loophole.
Brewery, not
Yeah,
a restaurant.
So, yeah, it's kind of like, we're sort of voluntarily getting this like more scrutiny, but we also do wanna serve food with that when we get to that point when we can install this pizza oven, which would, let us do that too, so.
Well, you have the food trucks though, right?
We have food trucks, they have their own license though, so that's not
Oh, it
on us.
doesn't piggyback on you.
No, so they have to have their own like, food truck license to do that, so.
Direction. Question should be directed to the council.
okay, does anyone wanna ask any questions? The benefits and so on. Thank you very much.
Just
I think-
what
I
about
think
our
Calvin-
cap? What about our cap? Is this we have the cap of licenses, we have to raise that? What do we,
Now you have to raise it to 14.
to add one? Well, he's already there.
We do
so
that first.
He's already,
The liquor license.
I'll make a motion to raise the cap to 14 liquor licenses in the town of Exeter.
I'll
second.
Okay, any more discussion on that?
No.
No, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, need to make a motion if you're granting this, obviously.
Don't we have to close this, the liquor licensing board first? And
Yeah,
then
you can
make the motion?
close the public
Okay.
hearing first. Nobody signed up to speak. so-
No, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, I'll make a motion to close the liquor licensing, Exeter Liquor Licensing Board.
Well, you're still gonna have to vote as the licensing board. You just need to close the public hearing, then you vote, then you close the
Okay.
meeting.
All right, we're gonna close the public hearing for the Tilted Barn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then, I'll make a motion to grant a liquor licensing, to Tilted Barn Brewery, LLC.
Second.
All those,
One thing, there are, he's met all requirements, it's been duly advertised and then, the butters notified. But there are $215.88 owing in certified mailings and, advertising.
Okay. 215
Yes.
Okay.
with all requirements, yeah. Okay, all those in favor?
Thank you, Matt.
Thank
You
you,
have a great
guys.
place.
Appreciate
Have a
that.
good,
Good
nice
luck.
place there.
Thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Have a good
Take
night.
care.
All right.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to close the liquor licensing, Exeter Liquor
No, you're
Licensing
good.
Board.
Thank you.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Public comments. Public comments are not limited to items on this agenda. However, items not on the agenda will only be heard and not acted upon by the town council unless they are of an emergency nature. There's a 3-minute time limit per person, 15 minutes maximum time allowed for this agenda item. Section 42, 46, 6 of the Open Meetings Act and the Town Council bylaws prohibit the town council from deliberating, debating, or acting on previously unposted matters during the public comment section of the agenda. State law prohibits the town council from acting or voting upon any such matter except under emergency circumstances. The town council may only matter except under emergency, may only, if warranted, refer such matters to an appropriate committee, to another body or official, or post the matter for consideration at a properly noticed future meeting. Accordingly, because the town council is obliged not to respond, the immediate silence of the town council members relative to any matter raised by a speaker during public comment may not be construed as any endorsement, confirmation, acquiescence in support of, or taking of any position concerning a matter raised by a member of the public under public comment. Okay, we have a few people signed up here. First one is Gregory Allen.
Thank you. I have two exhibits. If you people like to see them, so you can follow what I'm trying to talk about tonight. Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
You got a copy of this? Here.
Greg Allen, 11 Rain Pottle Lane. I'd like to thank the council for allowing me to speak tonight. I'd like for you to please look at Exhibit A. Exhibit A is an official report from the planning board issued last week to you guys. In it, you'll notice on the bottom, there's a change in the classification for the Conservation Recreation District. Instead of saying Conservation Recreation, the planning board somehow slipped up and put Conservation Residential. I had mentioned this and brought it up the very next day to the town planner, and he agreed that it was probably a mistake and that we'd have it corrected on your information and your correspondence from the planning board. I don't know if it was a mistake, if it was planned, but it definitely, we did agree that it definitely represented a change in name of that particular zone. And sometimes when you change the name, you lose all the meaning in that, whatever you're talking about. But it could have been a mistake, and we have to go along with it, I guess. But it's interesting to note that the planning board solicitor works out of the same office as your town solicitor, I'm told. And I was wondering how that got by him. Raise a red flag to a lot of people I know. But it's easy to happen, I guess, as a mistake, perhaps. Now I'd like to go to Exhibit B. If we go back 3 years, on December 4th, 2023, a public hearing was held by the town council regarding accessory housing in various residential zones and throughout the town, all zones. And a motion was made and passed to approve a package from the planning board regarding this. If you'll see that in Exhibit B, and if you notice on Exhibit B, Olivia DeFrancisco made a motion, and it says there that in residential RE2, RE3, RE4, CR5 districts, one accessory unit as defined in Article 1, Section 1.2 shall be permitted. But what she did is, we have CR5 in parentheses, lumping it together with RU2, 3, and 4. And perhaps Olivia thinks CR5 is really residential. I'm not sure, but it also could have been another mistake. And I wanted you to see the similarities in that. Because it could have been another attempt, I'm not sure. But perhaps it was a mistake. So, we have to understand one thing. The advertisement for this public hearing on December 4th did not allude in any way to such a manner or maneuver. It only had to do with accessory living units. So I assert that any attempt to declare CR5 a residential classification is illegal, given the conditions of the advertisement and explanation of this public hearing. And I say that because if we go forward, last February, your town solicitor used this excerpt, i.e. section 43, section 2, on accessory housing as a legal precedent to instruct the zoning board and zoning officials that CR5 district is to be regarded as just another residential district. I believe this miscarriage of legal advice has caused immediate and potential catastrophic damage to many of our citizens.
Okay, your time is up.
If you'd like to see more, I'd be glad to share it with you.
Steve, how do you pronounce? Dan?
Hi, my name's Steve. I'm a member of the Chestnut Hill Baptist Church. I come as an ambassador of the Church in Jesus Christ to tell the community about our church mission and some ongoing and upcoming events of the church supporting the community. Chestnut Hill is the oldest church in Exeter, founded in 1750, and the building was built in 1838 as a Greek Revival church, located at 467 10 Rhode Road, which is Route 102. Many know the church from the 1892 tuberculosis vampire scare of Mercy Brown, and she's buried in the cemetery behind the church. The church has been involved with the community for 225 years. Currently, we have made donations to the food bank, and with the Director of Human Services, we have donated gift cards, money, materials to help those in need in the community. We also help many for their spiritual needs. Inviting everyone to come and visit Sunday, May 24th at the church will be open for visitors to tour the church and or ask questions or even attend our service at 10 a.m. The church will have a float in the Memorial Day Parade at 1 p.m. on the 24th of May. Please come to visit us and say hi and tour the church and then watch the parade from a great location. After the parade, we will all meet at the Exeter Public Library for a family-friendly celebration, remembering those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our community, where our pastor, Ted Strickland, will hold a prayer vigil. We also would like to invite everyone on the 4th of July, as the pastor and the congregation would like to invite all members of the community to the church on the 4th of July for the National Bell Festival, cookout and service on the 4th of July in honor of America's 250th anniversary. The National Bell Festival Let Freedom Ring ceremony invites bells and bell towers across America to ring out together at 2 p.m. on the 4th of 2026, creating a canopy of sound over our nation. Cathedrals, churches, along with community organizations, historical structures, national parks, and memorials, and all people from all states, territories are encouraged to gather and to contribute to the sound of freedom. The special event will begin at 12:30 p.m. with a free cookout on the church grounds, followed by a 30-minute patriotic service. And then the bell ringing for our historic church bell 250 times. All are invited to join us as we celebrate this joyous occasion in our nation's history. Would like to remind all that even though every American patriot forefather was not a devout Christian, that all quoted the Holy Bible as the backbone and primary cultural and linguistic framework for shaping the political philosophy of the nation's founding documents. The foundation of views on human nature, liberty, and justice. It provides a common language and a moral framework for the nation, the new nation. We believe humans are inherently flawed and the government must be structured with the separation of powers to prevent tyranny. Liberty rights are endowed by our Creator and biblical beliefs that humans are made in the image of God. This moved the source of rights from the king to divine authority to the Declaration of Independence for the people. The Bill of Rights are...
Thank you. Your time
Also,
is up.
okay, I just want to say God bless America, let the sound of freedom ring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But thank you for what you do for our community.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, what you guys do for our community.
Lisa Davis?
Asa Davis, 146 Beechwood Hill Trail. 3 minutes isn't enough to cover these 3 topics. I would like to ask for an invitation to attend exec session if possible, where I can talk about the legal cases you have on the agenda and the recent settlement offer that I made. Regarding the next item on the agenda, this is Cal's 4th charter violation. The first was ethics, the second was Marusak defending, the third was Mr. Schiffer's vote, and now it's ethics again. Perjury is a felony in Rhode Island. If ethics forms are filed under penalty of perjury, he now has a world record 30 revisions to his filings. The Rhode Island standards say you don't have to prove which statement is false, just that they contradict and can't both be true. Cal has 30. If he thinks I'm wrong, he's perfectly free to file suit against me, and we can put both sides before a judge. That hasn't happened yet. I think for the same reason Trump hasn't sued anybody over Epstein, even though he's got an itchy trigger finger for lawsuits. I think the reason is probably the same, because it's true. Did the 6 to 7 figures wind up in his pocket? Maybe, but probably not, but who knows? In any case, it's a lot of money to go unaccounted for when you're the treasurer, an officer, and a director responsible for the oversight. Did Cal fix it when it was brought to his attention? No. Instead, in response to a records request, he said, "I have none of these, nor was I involved in any of the financial business of either the WCRPC or PRISM. You'll recall that filing with the Secretary of State required identifying a list of officers. Since I never had access to a general ledger or any other records of either organization. The question here isn't what a great guy Cal is, or how long he's been on the council, or anything else. There are 3 questions here, they're all yes or no. The first question, is this a material part of this charter? In all these cases, ethics membership, I would say yes. The second question you already answered at the last meeting. When Ray asked if there was a charter violation, Diane said yes. The third question is, was it willful? Remember, the legal definition of that isn't the same as regular English. The legal definition is that he didn't do it by accident. Based on the charter language in the sworn affidavit, the charges are presumed true, and Cal gets a public hearing if he wants one. That's his call. Thank you.
That's,
I wanted to speak to the council on another matter, I'm not allowed to for public comment.
It's, the time limit is the problem.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
why
we're
don't
already
talk for
over
long, just
time.
somebody else.
What?
the whole time, we're over time.
Give them my 3 minutes.
Well, nobody can speak now.
No, nobody can.
It's been 15 minutes.
New business,
There's not.
They'll get 3 minutes, they can't read.
15 minutes is not come up.
Each person gets 3 minutes, we stop. People to know over time, you run into problems if you start treating certain people differently than other people, that's the issue.
If he gave us 3 minutes, though,
You can't, it's not, sometimes you
can't any place else.
15 minutes total.
now.
Any meeting that was done to.
Well, that's the way to shut us up, I guess, I don't know.
New business, A, complaint filed pursuant to Town of Exeter Charter, Section 910, forfeiture of office for violations of charter. One was recusal of town council members Calvin Ellis and Kevin Sylvia. They're recusing.
Those recusal forms have been received.
Okay. Then consideration of this, I didn't really do this last time, I guess I ran through it too quickly. So my feeling is that the taxpayers and the voters vote every 2 years for town council people, and I think the voters they voted, and we're gonna vote again shortly, and they can vote in, people in or out, rather than the town council actually doing it. Would anyone else like to speak to this? And I didn't offer Calvin before. Do you want to have a public hearing?
I pass on a public hearing,
Okay.
thank you.
So with that, we have done the consideration, and the next thing, and offered the public hearing. So I'll make a motion to dismiss the forfeiture of office for council member Calvin Ellis for alleged violations of the Exeter Town Charter. Do I have a second?
We'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then Exeter Public Library.
Come back.
Oh. Exeter Public Library, do you want to speak to this, Ken? We have a grant, a community library municipal grant.
So it's the remaining balance from the original pot of money that was for the community centers that we didn't take. But statewide, there was money left over, and Maria, correct me if I'm wrong. So they approached all of the municipalities who didn't take the community center money. And we met, we talked, and decided that it might be a good idea to be two bathrooms at the library. So Maria's been involved, and
So as far as I'm aware, it's offered to the libraries because the bar is set, just like before, you know, how we had to have programming, but because it's a library, and TN is here too, so because it's a library and they already offer a lot of programming that fits in, they are presumed eligible, presumed that that they meet that criteria. So the reporting is still there, but it's not as intense as it was for us if we would have taken the 800,000. And, you know, they're encouraging the library to take it, and the library would like to upgrade the public restrooms. And I don't know if TN has anything else to add, if
No, I think you've covered it.
I'll help with the reporting. It seems like they just wanna give it away. It's the remaining money, some remaining money that has not been spoken for.
Okay, so I'll make a motion for approval of the community library municipal grant.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then a request to go out to bid to upgrade the public restrooms. That's what we're gonna be doing, so I'll make a motion also to go out to bid to upgrade the public restrooms in the Exeter Public Library.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Then we go on to commercial uses and residential district moratorium. Number one, possible extension of emergency moratorium for 60 days. I'll make a few comments on this. One, I guess, according to the charter, the president usually grants emergency moratoriums, which I was opposed to it, so I didn't do that. Also, as far as making zoning with the comprehensive plan, we finally got a comprehensive plan thanks to Bill, the planning board, and consultant that he hired. And so in 2023, after forever, we finally had, because of Bill, a comprehensive plan. And since that time, Bill has been working along with the planning board to do upgrade our zoning. And of course, he's tried to keep up to date with the stupid stuff the state keeps handing down, trying to destroy our zoning. But anyway, so he has been working hard at this right along. Also, we have, for Bill and Ben since that time, each year putting aside money so that Bill would be able to hire a consultant to help him with doing this task, because it's a monumental task. And over the last couple of years, we have $40,000 in that account now, and we have put in another $20,000 in the budget this year to bring it up to 60. So at that point, we can hire someone to help Bill out with this. So I really don't know what the emergency is, or why we need to extend an emergency like that. Anyone else on the comment?
I think the moratorium was only for new applications, new permits, correct? That's it, that's the intent of it. Yeah, it's not any pre-existing uses.
It was more because we're working on with Bill on the new zoning ordinances, which is something that everybody agreed that needs to be done.
Right.
Instead of kick down the road. So that's why I was in, and we're close. I know we've got a couple of drafts back from the planning board, and Bill's kept us up. So my opinion would be to keep the moratorium or extend it until we get this finished.
Yeah, I agree, because the moratorium does not affect any use permits that are going on right now, nor does it affect anyone that's been completing any of the work under the confines of the law.
One issue that I think is confusing for folks is that there will be no changes in the zoning ordinance until we have a public hearing on all of those, any of those. So these are the considerations, and we see, if you see them at the agenda, you see issues that Bill has brought to our attention, areas where he thought needed addressing initially, following the guidelines of the comprehensive plan that gave us a jolt. So I agree with you that we should continue, it doesn't affect, until we can get some permanent moratorium hearing or changes in the zoning. I don't know if we're gonna be able to review all this by July 11th, but we should try. Or we can post for a regular moratorium until we can sort it all out. But I agree with you too.
Anyone else?
My understanding is it can't be extended more than 60 days, which I appreciate the work that Bill did, and as extensively as he did it in such a short time. Thank you, Bill, for what you've done, what you've done for us. And I'll move that we continue the emergency moratorium for another 60 days.
Okay, second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
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 There you go.
And now, we can turn it over to Bill. Oh, it is continued now until, what, the 17th?
July 14th.
July 14th.
About 3 weeks after, so we gotta have this all sorted out in June.
That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
3 weeks before July 14th, though, they have to be posted for the public hearing, because you need 3 weeks to advertise and everything.
Good.
Which would be,
And I think the only way
All
that
right,
that,
let's go to number 2.
I'm
We're
sorry,
still talking about that,
okay, then,
what do we do, where are you?
number 2.
no,
Okay.
review of the town planners moratorium draft.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, honorable members of the town council and the public. In response to this body's moratorium that was issued on March 16th, 2026, which imposed emergency ordinance imposing a temporary moratorium on commercial development in residential areas, I've submitted a memorandum dated April 20th, 2026. And it reads as, in response to the town council's moratorium on commercial uses in residential zones, I reviewed the current zoning use table for RE2, RU3, RU4, and CR5 districts, which are designated for residential land uses. I examined each current use line item and identified 2 cases in which potential commercial operations are allowed in residential zones that warrant further consideration. Additionally, I've reviewed reference material from the American Planning Association, in which I'm a member, and analyzed neighboring towns and potential new uses. Based on this, I've created a prohibited use that the town council, planning board, and the public may use for further deliberation. It should be noted that this exercise does not include light business residential district, which features a mix of legacy businesses uses in residential homes, ranging from business entities to varying forms of residential properties. And reviewing the comprehensive zone changes from previous years, it appears that this district was selected because the decision could not be made on whether or not it should be primarily business or residential. After examining the zoning district, it's clear that this location on a major state arterial roadway suggests that it should function more as a traditional business district, with residential uses allowed by right, which the state legislature considers part of the ongoing changes designed to promote housing generation in the state. The comprehensive plan also calls for a study and potential changes to better align the properties in this area, which is Route 3 and Route 2, with the adjoining roadways while addressing the need for increased economic development in this town. This document contains the planning board approved, which is an underlined strikeout document, versions of the drafts prepared by the town planner, me, allowing all stakeholders to begin deliberations well in advance of the scheduled public hearings, thereby providing time for amendments and discussions. Once completed, the draft should be sent to legal counsel for conversion into a Muni Code ready strikeout underlined document. Within this document, you're going to see 4 draft general areas. 1, called lumberwood processing. 2, family child care, home care, group family daycare, home. And then 3, antique art, book, stationery, and gift shops, in a new section entitled home-based retail, office, or artisanal use. And then finally, prohibited uses in a residential district. We talked about many things. We talked about the town finally having a comprehensive plan in 10 years. It's almost a perfect storm that's hit us. Not only do we have a comprehensive plan that's approved, but we also have had the legislature working on a lot of zoning changes, probably the most I've seen in my history since the 80s. And what essentially it's doing is it's mandating certain zoning of bylaws throughout the state, and Exeter is not exempt from that. It includes density, it includes low moderate income housing, accessory dwelling units, and we're moving away, it seems like, from the localities having a full control over their zoning. But one of the most important parts was that we had a special use criteria in which our boards could use common sense and reasonable analysis to take a look at a zoning proposal or actual land use and do what the zoning board does best, is use their rational and reasonable assessment to make a decision. That was kind of stripped from all the towns, and now we have to have specific criteria that's attached to each individual actual use. So in this perfect storm, which is the comprehensive plan called for, a change to Route 2, Route 3, and the interchange to 95 to promote economic development. It also is telling us that we have to revise the entire zoning ordinance to, if we're gonna include special use permits, have particular criteria for each and every actual use that's in there. And then tertiary to this, the town still has a zoning ordinance which was probably built, built around the 70s. I mean, it still has telephone booths in the zoning code. That tells you how old this is. So in doing so, it's missing a lot of prohibited uses that if we're not careful, we may get what we don't want as a town. So a big change that the legislature made 2 or 3 years ago was that we used to have a caveat in the zoning ordinance that says if it's not in this actual use table and not elsewhere classified, it's not allowed. That's changed. Now the town has got to, and the zoning office has got to determine what other use it's similar to. So if some noxious use comes in the town, we're not gonna have too much to hold our head on if we're not looking at some of these prohibited uses. And there's a whole cadre of them, and they were all included, just as a baseline in which this community can deliberate and have conversations, and that's what it's about. It's really about getting it from, the talking stage to words on a piece of paper. And these 4 areas that I have here is just the beginning. As part of the comprehensive plan, we're looking to change both the Route 2 and Route 3 corridor to business, because the ad hoc light business residential district really doesn't fall with any of the business that exists there. So we should just be, look at ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, we really understand this is a business district and allows residential, or it's all residential, whatever. We need to move off this half a bag on Route 2 and Route 3, and that's what the comprehensive plan says. We're also looking at some potential development in and around Route 102 that's right-sized for Exeter. We did a lot of study, we had a grant, and we were successful with the grant, receiving money on, doing, maybe upzoning the interchange of 95 and 102 to bring some much-needed tax base in. Your levy is primarily all residential. And in the last month, I have, 450 homes coming to your town that are mixed between 3-bedroom to 1-bedroom. I came in front of this body some months ago to warn everyone it was coming, and we're in the middle of it. So if each, home is pulling in a child or 2, that bottom line goes to the residential taxpayer. And without a diversified portfolio, not a lot of business here, you could do business in a different way, and that's what the comp plan says. We could do it our way, not North Kingston's way, not Warwick's way, not West Warwick's way, but our way. We should be thinking about business opportunity. However, on the flip side, we also have to protect our zoning districts. And the zoning districts are well established in the zoning ordinance. And I will speak to something that Mr. Allen brought up earlier, and that was an error. And God forbid if you built making this in a week, you might get one error. So it should read conservation recreation, not conservation residential. But I want to put into the record what your current zoning ordinance says this district is. The current zoning ordinance says this: conservation recreation CR5. The CR5 zone is established as a separate district to preserve and protect an area abundant with natural resources, landscaping and sensitive soils having severe limitations, and to provide for natural mixture of, ready, residential and recreational uses. So when we speak about what the intent of a zoning district is, you got it right there, it's in your zoning ordinance, it's not changing. That's what it is. You may agree with it, you might disagree with it, you're welcome to change it. That's what it is now, it's a combination of residential and recreational. That's the current definition, and all the definitions are here on this piece of paper, if anyone wants to see. So I just kind of wanted to clear that up, and that was a mistake. It should have just been on line 83, should have said conservation, recreation, not residential. But I want to note that on page 83, there was no strikeout changes to the actual definition itself. It was clearly just an error. So that was that. There was no changes to that. As we move through this, I don't know how you want to do this, Madam Chair, because there's a lot here. I don't know if you just want to go through the lumberwood processing and then grind through them all, because there, maybe some, particular modifications that this honorable body wants to make. I heard some modifications over time that I had suggested, because obviously there's a lot of discussion around that, right? The wood processing lumber, there's a lot to it. So what we try to do here is give us a baseline in which to work from, and that's what we did. And I don't know if you want to just start from that first page and go through, the actual proposal, and then make there were some changes that were made to it. But basically, lumber wood processing on page 1. Before I go this far, there's this misnomer that wood processing has never been addressed in the zoning ordinance in the town of Exeter. I spent some time in the archives. Since 1995, wood processing has always been in our zoning ordinance as a special use permit. 1995. Where were you in 1995? And before that, it was a little bit up in the air, and I have that zoning ordinance with me. I took it out, I copied it, because I think when we go forward, we have to start with facts, and that was a fact. So if you're operating wood processing, you should have received a special use permit. And to lawfully establish that use as a pre-existing use, whether it's December 13th, 1995, or today, it has to be lawfully established. Now, prior to that, listen, everything is up in the air, but I also have that ordinance. And wood processing wasn't discussed, forestry was, and how you want to extend forestry into wood processing is entirely up to this community. But I will say, in the APA literature, and most of the other communities I looked at, they looked at wood processing, the caveat being that if you're bringing in tremendous amount of wood from off-site to process it on-site, that those are generally in business districts, industrial districts, and light districts. Now, we all understand that obviously many people bring in wood to burn. So we've addressed that. We've addressed it in page through in the definition section. We propose an accessory personal wood processing, which exempts everyone that's just bringing in wood and burning it, or making bowls or anything else out of it.
What about trying to feed your family?
What's that?
What about trying to feed your family with the wood for selling wood?
Yes, it's exempt, so you're all set, yep.
You can sell wood,
You can
So
sell
unless-
wood to feed your family.
So,
you can sell the wood, in other words.
Yeah.
so it
All
says.
questions
Somebody
should
already
be
said.
directed, all questions should be directed to the council.
So it says, if it reads, all timber originates from the same parcel intended for use of the property, no imported raw wood except unless used for personal use. So whatever that personal use is, you can add to that, you can subtract to it.
Yeah.
The product intended for personal use, agricultural use, incidental, non-commercial use, and no sale of wood and wood products. So you could always go in and change that. Raise your hand. The second part is a limited scale lumber processing. And this is a limited scale wood processing. Let me,
I can't raise my hand. I'm allowed to raise my hand for a question?
Diane, are you taking questions at this time?
Yeah.
Or do you want Bill to?
I take that as people are not allowed to process wood of any kind and make a few extra dollars for it. That's it, right?
Banning that's socialism.
That's how I see it.
That's what that is.
Can't do that to these people.
Some people have been doing it since they were 14. Always leads to communism. Socialism always. Open a history book.
Okay, it's getting a little out of hand,
Yeah.
and we giving you benefit of the doubt.
It is out of hand.
Respect to the public, and we ask you respect to the council and what the town plan is trying to discuss. We have a lot of stuff to do tonight. So, it's up to Madam President, but
Yeah.
when one person talks to me, everybody starts talking.
Wouldn't let anybody
It's
talk.
chaos. So I was kinda asking you to just stick to decorum and let the planner speak.
thank you, sir. So number 2 would say that you can't accept it from off-site sources unless the wood is to be used as personal use. Now, and again, this can be tweaked, you can add to it, you can subtract to it, you can do anything you want, but it gives you at least a structure of an approved use, a special use permit, and then a prohibited use, which I'm sure we'll have a lot of discussion. The second section is limited scale lumber and processing. Limited scale wood processing activities conducted by the owner or occupant of the property employing no more than 2 persons, excluding members of the resident household, where the following conditions are met. All timber process originates exclusively within the same parcel. So this second section is, you have a whole parcel, you can obviously do wood processing with a special use permit, just like it is today, actually. But and it may be sold off-site. What it does prohibit is the importing of wood outside the site. So that's the difference there. So you have your wooding, you have a lot there, and everything is coming from that lot. So that's a special use permit. Again, we've always had special use permits since 1985. Now the last one, and maybe the most controversial, would be the commercial wood processing. And it's commercial wood processing. And it's any lumber or wood processing operation that meets one or more of the following criteria. Put it up here. So we have an off-site material. So raw timber, logs, lumber, wood materials, recycled wood, and other raw products are imported on the site for storage and processing. Wouldn't be allowed in a residential district. Employment threshold, the operation employs more than 2 persons, excluding the members of the resident household. Commercial traffic, the operation generates recurring truck traffic as part of the business activities, including the delivery, hauling, and transportation of raw materials and finished products. So you got trucks coming in and out, usually bringing in, wood for processing. Wholesale or retail sales. Finished or partially finished wood products, firewood, mulch, or similar products are offered for wholesale and retail sale. Contract services. The operation conducts contract processing of wood or timber for third parties, or engages in business operations, advertising, or service related to timber and wood processing, including the sale of processed wood products. And then third-party receipt. The operation receives off-site wood, timber, and wood debris, including branches under the contract and compensation on behalf of third parties, and business use. Property supports a business-related wood processing, including advertising and regulatory reporting requirements directly associated with the property. And in most cases, these wood processing have been in business and industrial. The only exception I can find is in New Hampshire, where they actually have an overlay district, and if you have a certain amount of acreage, there's 2 types of overlay district, one for preservation and one for wood processing. And that would be an overlay district kind of concept. And maybe, 10 acres is what I'm looking at in terms of minimum. So that's the only tweak I saw in New England that had that type of imported commercial wood processing. And again, the references would tell you it's about noise, it's about neighbors, it's about when we read these definitions here in a residential district. The definitions in a residential district really stop at the line of commercial. So where does forestry and wood processing stop in terms of when forestry stops and then commercial begins? And that's up for debate, right? Could you limit by cords of wood? Sure. Maybe you just allowed everyone to have, 100 cords of wood. I don't know. I know a couple other towns did that. They limit it to 100 cords of wood. And there's at least 3 ways you can go with that. Like I said, the first way is you're exempt. The second is special use permit, and commercial is not allowed. Now, some of the other things I had suggested, that if people want a different way, you can do a minimum area, that you can do a special use permit, you have to have 10 acres, and you have to be in 250 neighbors. You can twist that ordinance to create that if you wanted to capture these uses. You could allow them by right. You can allow them by right. They've never been allowed by right. They've only been allowed by special use permit, but it's your right to do that. But I warn you, all the residents around them, now you're taking this commercial use and you're introducing it into a residential use. And from a pure planning practice, that's not something that zoning and planning really support. So those are some of the changes that could be made.
Bill, can I just interrupt a minute?
Yeah.
Thank you for.
I got my hand up here for about 10 minutes.
They won't let
I
it
know.
go.
Well, here
We
was
want
a,
to let Bill finish.
here's the point I wanted to make, and I see the hand up here. And I just wish we could clarify the fact that this is a report being made by our planner to us, and it is exactly the reason that I'm suggesting a public hearing. Maybe it's limited only to this wood issue, but we can hear the folks that have comments to make, like the gentleman back here. That is the process. So I know you want to speak to what he's saying, but if we hold a public hearing, then everybody gets a chance to speak. We listen to your concerns, and then we decide whether some of those concerns are valid. That's the process. I don't need to, that's what we should be doing here, we're listening to his presentation. Does that make any sense to anybody here?
Yes.
Or not? Which is,
Be orderly.
well, which is why I said something about I don't know, moratorium, the point is, I think we should hold a public hearing, but we can just part of it. This is big. This is big.
Am I allowed to talk?
Bill,
Yeah, we'll
Well-
give you a couple more.
so my point is that if we're gonna let people talk, that's not a public hearing, but
But it really isn't a public hearing. A public hearing, everyone will be able to.
Let me know when I'm allowed, please.
Next meeting.
I've had my hand up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Someone had suggested, Madam Chair, is that, that exempt wood processing activities. So I did draft up some changes, and again, as the information gets passed down to me, I can amend this any way the council and this community wants. You really have to, give me some directions, and I can tweak this. So there is a question, there was like, well, what about people that are in the farm, forest, and open space, forest management plans? And so I added a E, which is exempt wood processing activities, and you could exempt non-commercial forest activities, wood processing conducted on a parcel that is enrolled under the Rhode Island Farm, Forest, and Open Space Act, provided that the property maintains an active and current forest management plan. Said plan is prepared by improved Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, Division of Forest Environment. All wood processing activities are conducted in accordance with approved forest management plans. The activity is non-commercial in nature. And then you can exempt the farm overlay district properties. So again, all these little things can be thrown in and amend it and tailor it, I should say. Let me use that word, tailor it to what the community, desires. But ultimately, the hard decision is going to be as a commercial use, for business, for profit. Does this body support that within a residential district? And then, once that decision is made, you could always, tailor the ordinance to capture that or not capture it. Or allow it. I mean, really is you could theoretically allow it by right. But it's never been a by right use, except maybe before 1995. It wasn't by right
Long back then.
established.
How would one get a hold of these recommendations? Are they allowed, are they public?
Through the chair?
what is it?
Yes, everything's public, yes.
Everything's public.
Yeah,
I could get them if I asked for them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
And any changes this board desires tonight, the town council could kind of propose amendments tonight that could certainly amend some of this language that's presented. So my town council, my review went to the planning board. The planning board made changes and voted on those changes, and you'll see those in the track changes document. But now the town council can further tailor that. That's what I was hoping would happen tonight. That the town council would add certain changes to the particular ordinance by line number.
Yeah.
If they want.
My other thing.
Bill, you mentioned size of property. You said that's one issue that could be addressed.
Well, again, I think the hard discussion I would have in the community is, do you want these facilities in residential? Right? And if you do you make a way that there is a minimum acreage? 10 acres being synonymous with some of the laws, Rhode Island general laws relative to forestry. And then setbacks. That'd be a whole different direction. I'd have to go, I'll go in a different direction to look at what appropriate setbacks are. That's not in this. Right now, I'm telling you, if it's commercial, it's business, for all those criteria here, if it meets this criteria, if it meets any one or more of these, it's commercial, not allowed in a residential district. To me, that's the heavy lift.
So then my other question has to be, are there any exemptions possible for people that have already established?
It's not in here now, but I had suggested that you could have a pre-existing legally pre-existing use section. But that section would have to go all the way back to 1995. So you could say if you were actively working in wood processing prior to, I think it was December 11th, when the 1995 zoning ordinance was passed, and it was legally established, maybe you're allowed to go to the zoning officer, present all those facts to the zoning officer. The zoning officer could decide. If he doesn't decide in their favor, they can go to the zoning board, the Exeter appellate board for his decision, his or her decision. I mean, all that stuff can be put in there once we decide as a community how you want to address what is wood processing, which could be very small and very, obviously benign for years. There's a lot of people in this room, I'm from West Greenwich, could be benign. But when it's not benign and it affects neighbors, then sometimes regulations take place. Now, it's the whole pig farm, it's not a problem until it is a problem. So, belts and suspenders are probably a way that I suggest that if you're gonna have a wood processing for profit and it's commercial, probably should have belts and suspenders on it.
Diane, can I speak in support of Bill?
Yes.
Rob Curry on the planning board, vice chairman. On Bill's guidance on this, we had a very lively and lengthy discussion, with a lot of difference of opinion on our board. And we came up with what we thought was a workable solution. We are appointed to work in the community's best interest. And that includes the people, and we understand wood processing is a time-honored tradition in town and also an essential business. We also realize there's residential property owners who may not want it next door to them. Yeah, we're talking about the hours of operation, the noise, the dust, whatever, right? So we tried to balance that. And again, very lengthy, very lively discussion. We disagreed but weren't disagreeable. And with Bill's guidance, we put something together and sent it to you. We, as much as anybody, are looking forward to your public hearing to get the public's input. That maybe it needs to be tweaked. We don't know what as Cal said. We can only work somewhat in a vacuum as 5 people. We thought we had a lot of interest represented, but as always, you need the public to make something the best version of itself. So that's all I'm gonna say. Thanks to Bill, we're really fortunate to have him.
Well, I would like to see people today, they're burning more wood because energy is so expensive. I would like to see people, for their personal use, be able to pick up on the side of the road, the state, put wood out there, property owners put wood out there. I know my husband's a fanatic on picking up everybody's wood.
In the resolution,
Stop, go back home, get the truck.
in the resolution, we made it clear to say that this should no way inhibit a wood processing for personal use. right? So that's in our motion, so, again, we send it to you for fine tuning.
So that would be bringing wood on your.
Right.
Bring it on your front.
Madam Chair, just, I heard that and I also made another amendment that we could possibly include, and that includes the accessory wood processing, including all those elements, imported wood, imported materials, allowing that type of imported materials for the single user. So the source of timber can be from outside if it's personal use. So I even have amendments, these amendments, if you want it. I just, at this point, I don't know, when that should be introduced, whether or not this town council wants to make a motion to that effect. I think you had some information that you would like about off-site collection that I had written. Could also amend that, and I can amend another copy before it goes out to public hearing. But in that area, it says off-site collection. The property owner or occupant may collect and transport wood to the premises from off-site sources, including wood made available for disposal or collection by governmental agencies, utility companies, and other property owners, provided such wood is processed solely for personal use. So it's even more of that detail about, this is all by right. So again, these things can, change and get revised to really kind of pinpoint where you want. I'm confident that a personal use can be, had. I'm confident. What I'm not confident is what your feeling is about a for-profit commercial business operating in a residential zone. And there are small ones that work just fine, never have a problem with the neighbors. And maybe there's, but where does it start? That's really the elephant in the room.
I'm gonna call on you because you have.
How you doing, young lady? My name's Josie Robinson. I've lived here my entire life. I love Exeter. I love everything about it. And the thing I love about it is men are men and you do what you do. And most of us ain't book smart. We do things by our hands. I almost pointed somebody out, but I know a few people in this room that's all they do is wood. And they do it with confidence, raising a family, and doing what they do. Anyone that says anything different is an idiot that does not know what they do. If you take that away, you take it away from their family. Don't be fucking foolish. There you go. I said what I had to say. And don't take something away from someone that's trying their hardest. Do you understand, young lady? You do. I hope everyone else does too. Sorry, you don't have to escort me out, I'm fine. No, it just bothers me. It's so stupid that there's a young man that just left. He's raising 4 daughters. And he works for a living doing wood, and they're trying to shut him down. Are you effing kidding me? What are you doing to this man? Anyone that's foolish, why would you do that? Why would you do that to anyone that's trying to raise their family? I'm a welder. Look at my hands. I've been beat up, put down hard every day. I'd be damned if someone's gonna tell me that I can't weld anymore. Does everyone get that? That's against what I'm saying? It's just a foolish thing. It's foolish. You might work at the library or whatever. No one's gonna tell you not to read anymore. F that. Do what you can do and do it the best you can. Don't take something away from someone that knows what they're doing. boom, that's it. That's that. Look at the young lady right there with a big smile on her face. That's what it's about. Screw that. Don't listen to any bullshit. Listen to what your heart's telling you. You got me scolded, you gonna hold me out of here?
No.
I didn't think so. You better make 3 more. I love you, Scoop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for the planner. I had sent back a bunch of edits on these 4 documents. I just wanted to know if those went to the council too, or if they were incorporated in anything the council's seen, or should I send those to the council?
I would send them
I
to
said that right.
through the chair, I would send them to the council. Unfortunately, that was after the planning board had reviewed those, and I'm subservient to the planning board's recommendations, but, again, this is what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to understand how we take these amendments as they move through, get them directed to me so I can make the changes. I had a bunch of suggestions from a lot of different people, including myself. So, you know, I have to understand which recommendations are gonna be codified into a draft that's gonna go out to the public. And again, I was hoping that we would kind of work through them all, have a motion, change things, and then I could redraft it, send it back out for public hearing. But I haven't heard one amendment since I've been here, for anything, so.
Do a cord limit. Limit on how many cords you can have.
Need a work session.
Yes,
I think that's a good idea.
yeah, we do.
There's a lot,
We need a working
there's a
session.
lot here. Yeah. Thank you, Bill.
Should I digest it?
Absolutely.
I think,
I think we do need a work session.
I think we do, and we can,
Is it possible if I could, you all have Word documents, they all underline and stricken, and they all have the footnote. Is it possible that you could work on actual changes to the documents you have in front of me? And into line item strikeout, and then go to a work session, and then we'll all be able to kind of discuss what our comments are gonna be? What I heard tonight was pre-existing non-conforming, I heard, you know, leave it alone.
Hey,
So that would be a strikeout, you know, leave it alone. I heard, you know, picking up wood.
the lady's quiet.
So I heard a lot of different things tonight, but we have to make sure that it's codified into one document, and then in a work session, we can decide which document is gonna go out to the public, which you can't do.
so you want us to do our homework for a work session, so we'll have
think
everyone
Wanna go
ready
tonight.
for that.
Yeah, I
We'll take
think,
one night,
right,
and as soon as coming out of here.
exactly, just use that as a strikeout, underline, so if you hate a paragraph in there, when I heard tonight, you know, just eliminate it. Allow it by commercial, you know, right. If you want to allow, you know, 200 cords, put 200 cords in. And then when we sit there and we discuss it, everyone will have their position. And then maybe we can do some reconciliation of everything that's being brought forth. That's the only way I think you're gonna be able to move through each one of these ordinances, because there are so many elements to that.
But, yeah,
I agree, yeah.
We should schedule one, when is a good time?
What works for everybody?
What's that? Yeah.
What nights usually we can do it
What's the week from tomorrow? What's a week from tomorrow, Tuesday night?
Got a meeting
Let's see,
Monday night, and the fire district is Wednesday.
What else?
Fire meeting is
Fire.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, Monday is,
Time is of the essence.
so it'd be
What works for everybody?
Tuesday. What works for everybody?
You got something to say?
So next week, or you wanna do the week after?
yeah, so we got, again, we got the
Thursday.
project,
maybe.
public hearing 11th, and we have the fire district meeting
On Wednesday.
on Wednesday the 13th.
The Thursday work?
Either one for me, Tuesday or Thursday, will work for me. The 12th or the 14th.
Let's go with Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Which Tuesday? I have planning board, so let's make sure it's on the planning.
Well,
That's planning board.
That's a planning board meeting.
Planning board,
So it'll have to be
12th and the 26th of planning board.
Can't do that.
14th, Thursday?
the Thursday.
Thursday? Okay.
14th?
Thursday.
good, whatever it is.
I think based on,
No kidding.
based on the wood processing businesses we have in town, there's only like 3 or 4 of them that have not been in existence prior to 1995.
on the 14th, so I'm gonna have to.
So they're all grandfathered in, with exception of a few.
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir, a second. So, all right, so 13 at 6?
No, the 14th.
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 14th at 6:30?
14th at 6:30.
It'll take you a while.
You got that?
Yeah.
All right. Got it.
The next hearing about this.
All right, there's a lot here to think of, Bill. I mean, you know,
I have one more question. If I could. Bill, you're speaking about strikeouts, and you underline, you're talking about things you underline. But I see red.
Track changes.
Yes, sir. So what
Sorry.
we generally do is, as people add to it, we will assign a different color to them.
Right.
So you'll see the original draft, which is mine in black, and then the blue, which was a third party, and then red, which was actually the planning board. So in that case, you're able to keep you have an inclusive document, and you know where the edits were taking place. As you can see that the planning board changed 100 feet, to 60, that kind of thing.
Well, that's
Changed
part
it.
of it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yep, the colors are different, whoever changed the
I
ordinance.
understand, okay, so the planning board added what's in red. Well,
Correct.
Well, that's fine.
Or stricken out what's in red. So when you go to prohibitions, there's a lot of strikeouts in the prohibitions that they had stricken out in the prohibition section, which, that's a whole nother, ball of wax. How much prohibition do you want?
Well, those minimum setback, that's what the planning board thought was appropriate. I don't have any problem with that.
No, that's what you're working from. You're working from a document, in this case, the planning board added definition for commercial activity and commercial use. But,
Why no, you,
right, so if you went in here and then you'll see the strikeout, so the planning board had stricken out these prohibited uses. You can strike out more, you can strike out less.
Put it back in.
You can put it back in if you wanted to. But see all these line items, that's what the planning board removed, and I'm hoping that if we work through this document, you add your underline and strikeouts, and we actually get to a document that we can put out to the public and have a public hearing. Right, so, it would add all those concerns that we spoke about tonight.
you said public hearing.
Bill, is that under,
This is prohibitions, this section.
and we have that here.
You have all the sections.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've
4
looked
sections.
through it, and I'll keep going.
Because we only speaking with lumber, we only got through lumber processes, but you have 3 more sections you need to look at. Prohibitions,
Good to see it.
and then the family, child care, home care, which is not that big. And art store. So you should, when you have the workshop, it should be on all 4 sections. It took the planning board, how long did it take us?
Oh, hours on each one.
Hours on each one, so there's a lot of debate on it, but that's how you do it.
Well, once again, I don't know what we're gonna do. I would suggest that we focus on the wood processing now.
Well, you got all 4 of them,
Yeah.
they all have to go. So under the moratorium, they're all collective. It's a
Yeah.
collective between the wood processing, prohibition, and the other uses. Because what we looked at is all the commercial uses that are currently in the zoning ordinance within residential, because that's what the moratorium speaks from. We should be ubiquitous in the way we look at that. I mean, when you look at the prohibited uses that you don't have, it's kind of scary. I mean, does the town want to be a home for medical incineration of medical materials?
That's actually.
It doesn't, right? Medical waste processing, I don't think anyone in town wants that. So let's include it, nuclear facilities. You know, there's a lot that's not in your ordinance, and this can be a great opportunity to get it in your ordinance, so you just don't get a scary, you know, proposal that someone kind of tries to leak through.
Yeah, Bill, I read something that a resident sent to us, and it indicated that, I think it was battery farms or something.
Yes.
Never appeared before. Well, neither did, wind turbines from 20 years ago, or other issues that surface now, have surfaced in recent years. Stuff we never, other folks that were doing this, never contemplated.
Right.
So I think that's what you're trying to do here.
It is, there's a picture of a nice battery farm, so
Oh.
some of this stuff is new, right? So I made some changes to the battery farm, I get some great feedback. And again, I restructured that to treat them all differently, because there's some upside to, you know, battery farms that are located within energy producing, you know, solar field, and obviously, the ones that are at home, you're gonna allow by right. As a primary use in a residential district, I don't know if you have supporters that would say that that would be something that we would want in town.
The whole town's residential.
So, or maybe you want it. But again, you make the decision either way. I think, just not pretending like it doesn't exist is not,
I
is not a
appreciate,
plan.
for one, that you've
Yeah, it's
done
not
the
a
work
plan,
you've
just to
done.
pretend like it doesn't exist.
No,
That's
the
not-
research you've done is commendable.
And I also have changes to the battery energy systems. He said, give me some information. I broke it up into 3 parts, obviously home use, exempt, and then a secondary use if it's subordinate to an existing solar field, that there's limitations to the special use permit, but the commercial utility wholesale, those things.
That's what that is.
I think, and the town wants it later on, that's fine. Well, you know, you see where they're located, usually in the middle of nowhere. Not in the middle of a residential district with, you know, people's houses and pools and everything else. You have to draw the line at one point in time. Some of the biggest investments people will have is in their residential property. And you create zoning for a reason. You don't create it just so that you can make exceptions to it. So, there needs to be some hard lines drawn in the sand, and we're gonna have to do the hard work to determine what they are. That's the issue about the battery farm. I also have some changes to that I can propose. That would kind of address some of the other issues that were brought up that were, I think, were reasonable, rational discussions about their upside. The upside about how they effectively help the energy market in terms of fluctuation of energy. So there is some good with them, as long as they're right size. And with the antique art bookstore, stationery, you know, they were allowed by right. And so what we did is, you know, to be fair, you know, we are eliminating the antique art bookstore, stationery, gift shops as a principal use in residential. You can have them in GB, have them in B, but we replace it with the home-based retail, office, and artisanal use. So that's basically a home office, home retail, and we actually create a category instead of trying to jam it into something else that's been around since 1960. Just try to reflect what it really is, as opposed to, again, relying on overly outdated zoning. That's what we're trying to do with that. Daycare is very similar. It mimics the state law on daycare, which is an allowed use. We just asked us to take a look at some parking and some circulation, because obviously you don't want children coming out into a roadway that's hazardous. So that's probably the least controversial of all 4 of these.
What's a phone booth? We talked about
It's
that
allowed in
before,
all
right?
districts, yep. The
Yeah.
phone booth is still.
But it's allowed.
It's
Yeah.
allowed in all districts, so. I
They
think there's an
don't make
umbrella factory, parasol, so there's, I think
This gentleman.
Just, can I just have just a quick elucidation? I'm a Farm 1 zone, I guess zone 4. I got 44 acres. I'm not talking about a couple of hundred cords of wood, I'm talking thousands. And when I did my forestry management part, in my agreement with the state, they wanted me to harvest that wood and replant, but different trees, more native trees. And then they want native this, native that. I built rabbit habitats, all this other stuff, but they want paths where they can get people to come in and see some of the rare plant life and animal life that's on my property. Now, everything was great up until some people from up there moved down here and decided they wanted to change everything. We all came here because we loved Exeter for the freedom and the respect that you had for the land and the wildlife and everything else. And people were spaced out over 5 acres. Nobody knew what anybody was doing. And the thing is those, when you start talking about lumber and you start talking about forestry management, I hate to tell you, but they're connected at the hip. And how we manage that, and the difference between a 5 acre lot, a 1 acre lot, a 10 acre lot, and a 44 acre lot is huge, huge. We also have on our property that National Geographic has outlined for us, a homestead that was here in the early 1700s. And they did blacksmithing. And there was an old Virginia railway fence that led to it so they could get their products back and forth off that land. Half of my forestry that I had to harvest was put down by the U.S. government in World War II because they didn't know how long the war was going for, and they were going to need some wood. Well, nobody ever came back to harvest it, and so the wood was starting to get infected and all this other stuff. There was a method to the meaning of when you do forestry management. You have to protect the land, the wildlife, the trees, everything's involved with that. I harvested over 280,000 board feet of pine. That's a lot of wood. Thank God I don't have any more of those, because that's a full-time job. But I will tell you, creating the land and managing the land, it cannot be something that we kick to the side of the road because somebody doesn't want to hear a chainsaw or somebody doesn't want to see a tractor or whatever.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We need to remember who we are and what makes Exeter so much of a different part of this state that people want to come here. But we aren't going to change for them to come here. They need to, if they come here, realize what we are and how we work. And we are rural, and we are neighbors, and we work with our hands, and we work with our minds, and we do other things. I'm sorry if you did. There's North Kingston, if you want a police department, go. It's the last time a bank got robbed in Exeter. I mean, seriously. So here's the deal. Right, exactly. I mean, I'm thinking like, so I just want everybody to kind of realize, because I've read all these, I've seen all this. If we take more of a kind of a realistic approach on some of these issues and realize that's what's good for a 1 acre plot or a 3 acre plot or a 5 acre plot doesn't work for a rural plot where you've got literally farmland, open spaces, you've got wildlife. I back up against the wildlife, or the nature preserves, it's 2,000 something acres. I mean, I got wildlife coming from across my street, through my property, across the street to get to Audubon, and back and forth. I don't want that to change.
I don't either.
I
don't think anybody does.
No one does.
No.
Bill,
Yes.
just a question.
Yeah.
What the gentleman describes, would that be subject to a special use permit to operate?
Exactly. I think what we're doing
That's
here is
what I'm
actually
asking.
protecting that. There are two
Well-
things, just two aspects of it. you're right. It's exempt, that activity is exempt, right? So you can keep doing that, okay? Special use permit is still allows that type of activity.
Well-
Never stop, never will, okay? What it does do is protect against that out-of-towner coming in,
The one
buying
acre.
44 acres
Oh.
in an estate, cutting all the trees down and having Bill's wood processing. That's the
That sure didn't
difference.
stop the
That's the difference.
solar panels coming in.
That's the
but,
difference.
But the thing is my contract's with the state.
Yeah, we have a number of people with forestry
And,
contracts
and
with the state.
I deal with the state, and the state really doesn't, I'll tell you straight up, they're not gonna ask Exeter for permission. They're telling me how to run it, and they're giving me sole authority on how I manage that forest, within the guidelines that they want to see done, how they want it managed.
Yeah, that's not changing.
Good. No, it's exemption. It's not even changing, it's exemption. That means you gotta keep doing that. So, you know, sometimes when we muddy the waters up, there's a clear intention here. And what I'm saying is, the words don't lie. So if you have the exemption with the Farm Forestry and Open Space Act, and you also have a special use permit that allows that kind of forestry since '95, then it's protecting all those. What this is protecting against, the potential, is someone else from coming in from the outside, cutting everything down and starting a wood for sale, wood processing facility, importing wood from everywhere else. So be careful what you wish for, because if that ability is there, that word will get around and you'll have commercial wood processing in the middle of Exeter where they're not located anywhere else in the state of Rhode Island. That's the difference. The difference is you're trying to protect exactly what you, I think, eloquently said, as opposed to allowing this to be an open zoning ordinance so someone can annihilate the species. You speak about being good neighbors, about not being a good neighbor because the zoning ordinance lets it. So that's what you're trying to guard against. Not everyone has great intentions. And then that's what you know, does it do it perfectly? No, but that's what we should be moving to. I don't think anyone in this, in this room agree that we should get a 44-acre piece of property, cut all the trees down, and then import wood from all over the state to process it in a residential zone. Or I could be wrong. Maybe that is something that we're in the business of doing.
But that's not what the gentleman is doing.
No, he's not.
So
He wants to.
why, here's my concern about this. There's been a lot of spin about what's going on, and the fact that someone would lead the gentleman to believe that that was the intent is, I think, unfortunate, but I believe that there's misinformation that's been spread through the town about this. I do believe it. And somebody said to me, oh, we can't have a wood splitter in our backyard. That's not, if you have a cord of wood or delivered and you do something, I mean, that's not what this is.
But when you start limiting how many cords of wood, or selling logs, or whatever, I've gotta get rid of it some way. And why not process it to have people come pick it up or whatever? I've been trying to reuse all the wood extra I have for them on the property to make paths and all this other stuff. And so far, so good. But if it changes and I've got too much, then I wanna liquidate that, so I can have funding. You'd be surprised how much wildflower seeds have gone through the roof. But to be able to purchase stuff like
Fucking
that.
guy killed, is he joking?
That would-
joking?
I think we should stick to the subject and move on.
But I appreciate letting me
Yeah, no
speak.
problem, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input, because we got a lot to go through. And I know we're gonna have a public hearing on this, we're just trying to work this out. So,
Okay, Jason,
Then
and then we got it.
All right, so two things. First, on the picture of the battery system, just to be clear, 600 kilowatt hours that the town is defining in the draft ordinance for a utility scaling up is about half of one of those containers. And so basically, anything over the size of half of one of those, the town would be prohibiting in residential zones. And I think that is way too small for what these systems are able to do. I did propose one for my project, which was gonna be able to run a full 10 megawatt solar field, and it was gonna be 4 of those containers, maximum, probably less. So that worked out to be about 2/10 of an acre on a 109 acre parcel. So I think the picture is misleading. I think that might be more appropriate if you were trying to deliver power to Providence or one of the bigger cities.
May I respond to that?
Yes.
So, because I like clearing things up, because I know there's a lot of mud going around. I take the information, and I had suggested that if that 600 kilowatt an hour wasn't enough, that comes straight from the American Planners Association, which are not, that anyone can provide what that number should be. So, the opportunity for people to give input, direct input with words, is out there, has been for weeks. We have a tendency to not want to do that. So if there are specific numbers, it should be 1,000 kilowatt hours, that should be the suggestion. The suggestion should be from the people that are actually doing this and knowing this, wanting a change, to change it, as opposed to just say, whatever's here doesn't work. I will die on a vine to say we probably in residential shouldn't have utility scale battery solar. I'm okay with that, okay? I'm okay with the, as a secondary use and at home. But there is no way I could sleep at night if I allowed all our residential districts to get bulldozed, flattened out, and put battery farms on. Again, that's what we're trying to do, unless the town believes that that's an opportunity, and if they do that, then they probably should change it to a different zoning district. Be careful what you wish for. That's what I would say.
That's back and white here.
So we're gonna schedule a work session for Thursday, May 14th at 6:30 here.
And you all heard that, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Thursday, May 14th.
6:30 here.
6:30
Yes.
here, May 14th. As possibly scheduling a public hearing, well, we can't really schedule that yet until, I know a little bit more. Or do we have to schedule it at a certain point?
So you just continued it, extended it, which extends it to July 14th. You have to have a public hearing before that. But you have, no, it has to be advertised 3 weeks before you have a public hearing. So you're only talking a month and a half. If you want to schedule a public hearing now, you can, or wait till next week.
So maybe I misunderstand, but my thought was that if it expires, it'll expire in July, whatever you just said the date is. Well, and if it expires, then we haven't done anything yet, but.
Hold on a second, Hal. Excuse me, gentlemen, or folks in the back, I can't hear. I'm sorry. Hearing veteran thing here going on, but
So
can
my,
you keep, please not talk in here?
I'm sorry.
so my thought is that we either let it go back to open space with the issues, or we try to shoot for July for a public hearing on some of it, even if we don't have it all, some changes, so that we're moving toward that to get ready for people to speak to it and make changes. Because we're not making any changes, nothing, until we have a public hearing.
Right.
Sure.
So I'm just thinking that if we did it in July, well, just follow my reasoning here, I'm just saying that it gives us some time to get ready.
So if it expires July 14th, you want to have the public hearing in July?
I'm just saying, maybe, What's July, what's that, July
June.
14th
That's
is
June.
is a, what? A Tuesday?
June. Yeah.
Has to be in
That's
June.
what I'm trying to get
The week
at.
of June 15th.
It's in July.
No,
Yeah, you guys have 3 weeks in one.
Correct.
So not July. I thought
No.
it,
that's what I'm trying to say. If we don't book the public hearing until, like, say the week of July 6th, that gives you more time, that gives me time to advertise. Gives you more time to get this, because if you don't finish next week, you're gonna wanna do another work session before the public
I know,
hearing.
it's why I said July, but if it's wrong, it's, that, are you agreeing with me about timing? No.
June's definitely coming quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a
And
lot
as
of
you get older, everything picks up.
Yeah, all your schedule gets brought up with the meeting and, stuff we're doing here as a council, so, on our dates. I think July was,
Well, that we have time to meet
Right.
mm,
And if
several
it's-
times, and then we're ready to be advertised.
mhm.
And if we don't have it all done, I think
Well, even if
probably the other pieces, not the wood processing, but the other pieces,
Mhm.
we might have done. You know, the
Oh,
Yeah, the other things you mentioned.
daycare, there
So
wasn't
you
much.
would have to be done by June 12th, so we could have,
advertised.
no. I have to send it to the paper on June 11th, 1, 2, 3, and you could have the public hearing the week of July 6th.
One more thing is it has to be put in format, so Karen knows what.
That's why we're trying to
That's
extend
that
it as
time.
close to the deadline,
We also did just have an advertising hiccup with the newspaper recently that forced moving a public hearing and having to re-advertise it because they didn't put it in the paper right, so keep that in mind as a possible, something that can go wrong.
Well, if we made it one more week out, July, a later date, would that give you another week, right, Lynn, Tim? So we'd have an extra, one more week.
So, I have to send it to the paper on June 11th, so it could advertise the week of June 15th, 22, and 29. And then you could have the public hearing the week of July 6th. It'll be all done by June 10th.
Not June.
It's gotta be done by Karen, done.
It's gonna be before it goes to advertisement, the advertisement has to be,
That's what
I don't
you, they have to be done,
enough time.
they have to be done, then
Has
have
to
to
go
be
to
shipped to,
Karen.
yeah.
and that has to come back to
Let's come back to you, you have to advertise it, and because it's a townwide ordinance, you have the townwide notification.
That's why,
I don't think that's enough.
that's why you extended it, but now we're in a crunch. Extend it, but now we're in a crunch.
Well, July, what's another week after you just said the date of 6 or 7? What was that date you gave us?
The week of July, it expires on
What?
14th, which is a Tuesday,
Okay,
it's Monday, Tuesday. But then you have the week of July 6th. To have the public hearing. It's the advertising that's the killer.
yeah, and what about Monday the 13th? That gives you, what's all, one more week. Yes, no? What do you think?
Yeah,
Here's my thought, when we start working on this, if we realize, wait, we need time, then we can simply
Check.
vote again to say, no, we need more time. And if it expires, I mean, it expires, and then we just have to deal with what's up.
when,
It's the 14th that they're doing it.
no, I didn't say we're doing it.
No, the meeting next week, we're, the work session.
Yes.
So they could still put something on. There's
Cool shocks. We'll wait and see what they're gonna do with the,
Yeah, I think it's a no. I think it's a no.
I wouldn't. That's fine.
No, that's from Iraq.
Hey,
Half of my time.
we're in Iraq.
$6.
They keep bringing you back. After
So-
one time, they didn't
So
want
what are
that.
we
It's
gonna
killed
do?
too many
Excuse
people.
me?
July 13th.
July 13th, I don't want that. That's a vote, that's a,
He gets my time to speak.
right?
What do I do to get their attention?
Okay. Wednesday shaking her head. Is that, what's the matter, is that okay? Okay, I move that we set the date of July 13th for public hearing on changes to the zoning ordinance regarding commercial activity and residential areas.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. It's okay, the July 13th at 6:30? Here.
No, that's the work session.
Oh, okay, good.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes.
So, I just want to understand, I'm just asking, when am I allowed to cut wood again on my property?
Anytime.
Your
Just can't
property,
sell
you
it.
can cut it there.
And sell it?
Anybody stop them?
Diane,
Yes.
are you scheduling a public hearing
was
for
that
here
hearing
or
about?
another venue?
What was that about?
I think we'll probably have to use another venue.
The kitchen. Oh, they not, people. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. And did you answer already? I was,
No,
couldn't hear.
because I don't know the answer to the question.
All right.
If it changes, well, it's still with
I gotta go right now, I gotta know now because it's my livelihood, you know?
Do you have a special use? You've been doing it a long time now, right?
Me?
Yeah,
I've been welding a lot longer, but,
before 1995?
yeah, I'm probably,
Uh,
I don't look it, but I'm probably older than all these guys in here.
So you probably
That wasn't very nice.
need a special, this.
You've always needed a special use
You need a
permit for
special
wood
use.
processing since 1995.
No.
So, and you're grandfathered in, so.
No, I've been doing it
Because you've been doing it.
before 1995,
Okay.
and, I just wanna make sure that I'm okay.
It should be okay. But you do need a special use. How do you approve it? So just go in and get a special use.
Special use.
And you can prove it.
These guys are talking all true.
Okay, you're okay. Just tell him it's
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to,
You should be okay.
I got in trouble.
State Representative Megan Carter, we have a number of different resolutions here.
Diane, I would move
Probably not, they just wanna see.
Excuse me, can you keep the chatter down, please? Thank you.
This one, Noah?
I move that we approve all four of those resolutions.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Approve.
I'll second that.
Are they through with them?
Any discussion on those?
No, they're not.
No.
All those in favor?
I can't remember. I did good though, didn't I?
Resolution support of Senate Bill
Quiet, please.
S,
You take care of yourself.
2917 and House
Come
Bill
on and bullshit with me.
H 8015, relating to towns and cities in Rhode Island.
I'll move to approve.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution in support of House Bill relating to taxation and collection of taxes generally.
Move to approve.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And F, proclamation supporting June's as men's mental health.
Not
Men's
mental. Maybe it should be.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
That's a good one.
I suggested that we do this only because I happen to think men's health is important. So I placed this item on the agenda and I will move that we accept this proclamation.
Okay, second.
And the only discussion, OTN, but I understand that he is interested in trying to put forward some men's health programs at the library.
I brought this in front of the library board last meeting, and the board approved to support it financially with some of the funds that we have. So I was gonna say, if the council would go in with the board, that maybe it could be a good opportunity for the town staff to be involved in something during the workday. And make it public, like 1 or 2 events for the whole month. So, I don't know if you can approve any funding now, it's not on the agenda, but your support would be greatly appreciated.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, well, should we put on the June agenda, support funding, whatever we call it, for the men's health initiative at the library? I don't know what he's gonna, we don't know what he's gonna ask for, but we don't know that until we get to that item on the June agenda. That's what I would suggest.
Right.
What?
It's got a cost, what it would be.
Okay. All right, enough.
Okay, all those in favor of Men's Health Month proclamation?
Aye. December communication number 6, letter from Nancy Brock. That was about the food pantry for the pets. Wait, I skipped some.
H, no.
No, that's before. G is before, December communication is before that.
I think you have a different,
It's right
I
after.
think you have a different agenda.
Yeah,
Oh,
G was the men's health one.
Remember I said that?
Are we on H?
Yeah, well, she has the
Eight
agenda.
state body cameras?
She has the draft agenda.
Oh.
Okay. State body camera, the state body camera program, safety, security, and support for town sergeant, zoning inspector, and animal control officers.
Yes, Diane, I accept that to be put on the agenda.
I think we have enough cameras. I don't know.
Well-
I don't know if these people want them.
Well, the reason I did place it there, because I had discussion with our zoning officer who told me that he found out about a program where the state supplies these for, at no cost for officers. But if they don't want them, or if they have a say, there was a discussion that I had with Dave, but if they don't feel they need them, then we don't pursue
So
it.
do you really need?
Scope, you don't care to have it?
And sometimes it might come in handy, because Dave and I were at a resident where they started filming us. So,
There's a lot of people.
and then it ended up on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it ended up on
Within a
Facebook.
couple of minutes.
I mean, it's kind of self-protecting too, so.
The reason I brought it up is because Rob and I had a discussion about an incident that his animal control officers have had. You know, they're not very big ladies, and they get into some shady areas sometimes.
So would they want it?
I don't know if they want it, but I feel it would be a deterrent for, you know, it would give them a little bit more security.
I guess if people knew that they were on candid camera, I think that
They'd act a little more cordial.
yeah.
I can just let you know that any of these recordings would be public record.
Correct.
It can be requested.
Right. And the Attorney General has direct access to the footage. So, yeah, there's pros and cons, there's, you know.
So you want basically as a deterrent for the person or the persons you're,
Well, not so much me.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
I would wear them if you guys required it, but I feel Rob's, you know, the ladies would benefit better.
Could I say that I don't think this is mandatory that they use them? But I think to have them available, let's say if Scope knows of a difficult situation he might be encountering.
Yeah, I
to
could make the
wear.
camera.
I mean, if we don't, I'm not suggesting they always use them,
I'm
but
sorry,
anytime they,
what about it?
Well, how would they,
Yeah, I'm
how
sorry.
many would you know would be needed?
it said, I believe, Dave, you told me, you know, I'm out here a little bit on a limb, because you told me about it, so I put it on the agenda. Did you not say it was a state program?
It is a
that-
state program, yeah.
That they give it to municipalities for nothing? No?
You have to file for a grant.
Oh, you have to apply for a grant?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Through the RI Public Safety Grant Administration Office.
Oh, I didn't know that part. But still, I wouldn't mind that we move forward to apply for a grant to purchase 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you're talking the animal shelter.
Well, that's one, well, I don't know if they each need one, I just think of one.
I think it needs a lot more exploratory research
I would-
on policies, on the insurance company, on the rules of when you wear it, when you don't wear it, on training. This is more significant than just
Okay.
getting cameras and putting it on when you feel like it.
Yeah, we need a formal policy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Policy.
Well, let's just pass it by then, no action.
Well, you can just, yeah, put it
I
on
can
again.
work with Scope about the policy and the rules and provide information to the council. This is what you're looking at, not just simple cameras that you wear with a lot behind
Well,
it.
I don't know, would you think it's worth discussing any further?
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
And Rob, because we're animal control.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys will work on it and come back to us when you're ready?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll remove this until I get back.
Should we
Should I?
just put it on at the end of unfinished bit? No.
Should we remove it until you come back, or should we put it on, is it gonna be next month?
Well, we'll tell you, I guess, if we're ready to go forward next month.
Yeah, so that would be
Set the
a.
agenda.
Yeah.
When you're ready to set the agenda, we'll tell you then.
We'll see that. We'll see.
I'm gonna check it.
Good call, Ken.
Thank you.
When you're ready. Let me know when, okay? And if not, I don't hear from you, it doesn't go on. Okay. Good.
And the status of parade route flags. Actually, the parade gets what, $7,000, I think?
They have 7,000 in their fund.
In their fund, and then they raise money, and we've had people
We
coming
in the
that
budget.
quite, a few have donated, because we are replacing the flag.
Yep.
I think we have 5 or 6 people
Yeah, they've already been bought at
bought.
Parade's direction.
Yep. So the flags been bought and received. They're sitting at Public Works right now. All the new pole hardware is on its way. It should be in this week. Discuss with scope or possibly, what, next, the 7th or 8th or something, putting them up
Whatever you're ready.
with the detail. So they'll be beautiful, and they're really high quality, made in America, American flags.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So I placed the item on the agenda because they had some discussion at the Exeter Historical Association meeting last week. It wasn't clear to people what had happened, what was going on. And I was asked, and I said, I didn't know. So I said, let's all, so everybody knows, flags have been ordered, flags have arrived.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so.
They're gorgeous.
So there's a young lady here who's been heading up the 250 anniversary thing, and she had a question about flags. Can I ask Tressa if she could speak to us? Tressa Bonner.
Hi, yes, I'm a community volunteer and I've been helping to manage the 250th committee in the town, for the town of Exeter, leading up to the celebration of America's 250th birthday happening July 4th. I'm also a member of the parade committee, so that was one of my questions was, I think we purchased the flags, and I think the committee gives the parade $1,000, not $7,000.
No, your fund balance is $7,000.
Yes, that's what we have raised in donations.
That's your balance.
So I was hoping, and maybe that could increase, maybe if the town could buy those flags, because we bought the flags with our donation money. And I was just wondering if the town could give more for, just even to purchase those flags, because I think they were $1,500. And if you give us $1,000, that would just be like giving us an extra $500 more.
Well, we could always split the cost between the town and parade, and we both share. You know, we'd help you in that, that would help.
Especially because this is a special year where we are inviting state legislature to the parade, which all of you are invited to as well, where we're planting a liberty tree. All the towns in the state are, and our town is planting May 24th, Sunday, May 24th. And so we really
Where at?
wanted those
Where
flags
at?
to be beautiful. Oh, at the library.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of you are invited to that. Let's see.
Well, I'll see if it goes anywhere. I'll move that the town pay half of the cost of flags. And which can come from discretionary or,
Whatever you say.
I beg your pardon?
Discretionary, yes.
Well,
whatever you say.
that's my suggestion. What is the total, 1,600? 1,700?
Roughly, yeah.
What was it?
$1,550.
1,500. So if it's split,
44 cents.
That's
Now,
part of what.
I don't think we can do this.
This was
No.
just done for a
Because it's
status.
not
I
on
don't-
that agenda.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
specific enough to do money stuff for it,
You
unfortunately.
won't do it.
We can continue it to next month and with, funding for, something like that.
I mean,
Sort of like a reimbursement.
it's that's how it's gonna be anyway, it's already bought and paid for.
Yeah, we've already bought and paid for it.
You're right.
So you can
Yeah.
continue it until next month.
And we were trying to fundraise and trying to raise money for the community to buy the flags. And we've only received half of that already, so, and it's 19 days away.
Mhm.
And you're about to put those flags up soon.
We are.
So we ordered them on time. But this is gonna be a great event for our town, so,
Always is.
yeah, and we're trying to plan a lot of special events, leading up to July 4th. One is a scavenger hunt with, the town of West Greenwich, which is, you guys can find all of this information online on Facebook or on Instagram. And we're also trying to light up the town on July 4th, so we're gonna try to encourage the community to shine the red, white, and blue. So maybe the town hall will be lit, and maybe the library, maybe things along historic Route 102. You're gonna be feeling it throughout the state.
Nice.
So I wanted our town to feel it as well. We're getting the word out, so you're probably some of the first to know. And, I'd like your approval for all of that planning.
Okay.
Oh, it's commendable.
Love it.
Do what
Thank you.
So the
Thank you.
motion was withdrawn, or what do we?
Well, if it's not appropriate, then I can't make it,
And put it on for next month.
then I can't make it.
Continue it to June. Continue it to June for them to give you the money.
Oh, yeah, the funds, that's fine, the money is, it's already paid for, like I said. But, we as a parade committee, we keep looking at the budget every year and we stress, because we're like, it costs us about $6,000, $7,000, stuff is going up, so. And right now, the budget, I think we have about that much in it, so.
We can talk about that in June.
Okay, no worries, that's great,
Yeah, no
that's all.
problem.
Thank you, Trish.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Department of Public Works, go out to bid for painting the exterior and interior of the animal shelter. Rob?
Yes, it's been overdue for a while in the stalls, and now they wanna do something to the barn. And so I wanna try to find a painting contractor to kinda just come in and do it all for us.
So you're gonna go over the stuff that the artist came in one time and she painted the walls of the kennels.
Yeah.
Is that still there?
The worst part to just like what people did there, they came in, the volunteers, and put a 2-part epoxy on the dog kennel itself, and they didn't put the 2 parts together, and they did nothing but a mess. So I went and tried to, they asked me to come in and, paint it, and I can't get nothing to stick to it, but it won't come off. It's a mess.
Yeah.
So I've halted any volunteers doing anything on that property. And I don't have the resources or the time or the men to paint it properly.
Yes.
Something new on the painting tip, we're getting new lights in there. It's that same program where we tried to do in this building. There's a grant, they're putting all new lighting, so the lighting sizes have changes, so some of the spacing on the roof is gonna have to be touched up. So all that, so interior, exterior, just painting in general, and some sandblasting of that material that I told you about. I can't get it off, so we have to actually sandblast down to the concrete and start over.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's a mess.
it's a
But
mess.
that
Yeah.
was before me started watching over that building, and I'm trying to fix it now.
Okay, I'll make the motion to go out to bid for painting exterior, interior of the animal shelter facility.
Seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And Department of standard generator,
Standby.
standby, generator, sale and installation, animal shelter.
Yeah, it's, got livestock. So right now, my defense in the middle of the winter is to look and see if the light's on, to making sure that there's electricity on, that there's heat and all this. We had a pretty rough winter and we made it great. We have a little portable that we can light up the whole place, but yet I'd have to activate, I have to make sure that, see if it's out of electricity. So I have to watch that. A standby like we have here, there's nobody living here. There's animals that live there. So if we don't know for a 12-hour period and it's freezing or heat, that's my concern. So there's donations that that I was planning on using the donated funds, because some folks donated, from what they're saying, specifically for the generator a while back. So we'll get it put in, get it out there, and get it installed.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go out to bid for the standby generator for the animal shelter.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then December communication, the letter from Nancy Roth about the food pantry.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get any time to meet with Nancy at this time. Budgets kind of consumed my time for the last month or so, that and everything else, but I intend on exploring that to the fullest, and if it's something we can pull off, I think it'd be great for the community.
Just so you know, I put this back on now because you told me to put it back on in 3 months.
Thank you for that, but, I'm hoping to get to it with her this month, if not next.
And then request to go out to bid the town legal services.
We have a recusal from
And
Sylvia.
Ken has recused himself. When Jim retired, we never really went out to bid. And then when they raised up the prices and stuff, again, we didn't go out to bid. So I thought it was about time we cleared that up, go out to bid. And
How's it working out, is it like a yearly contract?
we don't have a contract
Good
actually,
enough.
right now. I
With
know in the
elections-
past, we've had 3-year contracts and that kind of stuff, but we don't have.
With this being an election year, I feel it would be more appropriate to wait till the next town council gets elected to possibly propose a bid. I don't know how the rest of the council feels.
I will simply speak to the fact that in the midst of litigation, et cetera, I don't think this is the time. I understand your concerns, and I would suggest that I've had some concerns myself and others have too, about some of the not activity, it's expenses. I think that we should have a performance, executive session, performance review, and discuss the concerns we have that get us through at least the next 6 months. But I don't think this is the time we go looking to change courses in midstream. So, I oppose
Wait
going
until
out
the
right
next
now.
town council.
I'm sorry.
So what Joe suggested, wait until the next town council.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is the time, but I also think that we can conduct a performance review in executive session in the next month. Sit with and express concerns to see
In June.
to see if any issues we have can be addressed. But I have a few myself.
Okay.
So, I would make that a motion that if we conduct a performance review in executive session next month.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then put this off until,
Well, I mean, you opened the door, and I think the open door is a good thing. I agree with, Joe, and I think we should wait, but I think we should talk.
I think we should talk.
I think we should talk.
We need to talk.
I think-
We don't, I mean, you know, we need to.
Do you want me to-
talk,
Want me to do all the talking, right? I'm just kidding, just kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah. All right, I understand.
Okay, so we put that on executive session in June.
Please.
Yes, please.
Okay. Rayanne, you can come back?
Ken, you're back.
Haven't done anything to do.
Okay. Unfinished business. Signage, outside, town hall.
Budget discussion, that's what it's supposed to be.
Did we just take that?
It's supposed to be a budget, part of a budget
Maureen says
discussion.
it's too late.
Do the budget. All right, we'll wait and discuss it. Budget.
I will submit a budget.
No, this is the one for out here.
Right,
Oh.
and we talked about it and said it should be part of the budget, but you have to pay for it. And it's not it's a pretty considerable expense, it could be.
It might be.
Yeah, good,
It might not be. But I think the, Rob's still there?
Yes.
So we did talk about, you know, the investment in a sign making, like a little sign shop over at the highway department and the machinery, that the prices are coming down, high quality. So one of the machines I sent Rob an example of was 15,000. But if you look at the cost that was the sign that we got the estimate on, that was like 12,000, right? And that sign, you know, we buy it, we put it up, and however long it lasts, that's what we have. But now with the technology and the CNC, that we can buy the machinery and invest in signs and have them.
You're talking
visible.
about signs, not the kind of sign we were talking about with the message, not a message
This is
sign.
the
message
message.
Not a message sign, but
Right, so you're talking about the measure sign, that's
No,
gonna
no.
be a budget item.
right,
But I'm talking about the other signs.
Other signs like
If you wanna
entering.
settle for that,
entering Exeter, or the
Yeah.
welcome to Exeter,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing.
so I don't know if you wanna talk about it at the public hearing or our next, that's our next meeting, right? Yeah. It's gotta be a budget item, man.
Yeah, no, but
It's a standalone sign.
we were trying to determine if we can even have one here. That was what we were trying to determine, the lighted one with the messaging, board messaging.
Well,
But that's not what
that's
you're
not what we left
talking
it
about.
at, no.
That's what,
That's what, now we're part of the application process, we have to decide what we wanted, and then if we're gonna afford and pay for it, then we send it down to the state and the scenic highways, and, they approve it or not, before we purchase it, of course.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but it has to be funded first. Maria shook her head, yes.
Do you understand
When she says no, it's yes. So something to talk about,
that? At the budget?
that's about it. That's exactly where we left it off.
Okay.
And the future town
Right.
hall,
It was, right? You take care of it, then. You're the open.
did we get three things back yet?
No, I was gonna take it out of my budget.
That's a good idea.
That's what I was gonna do.
You don't have that.
How much is
That?
it?
Okay,
Oh,
we need it.
that's the first thing to do.
Sorry.
Yeah, pull it table. The young
Second.
man there needs to take a
I've been
pause.
waiting
Okay.
for, yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna go.
No, yeah, oh. All right, you okay? Did we push you over backwards? No.
Watch out for those legs. Make sure they're straight.
Couple of legs there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want it to collapse.
Ken, yours.
It's gonna go. B, future town hall.
We have a meeting on Wednesday, I think, to come up with the
With
last,
three.
the third of the schematics. And then I hopefully, we'll talk to them, see if we'll have them ready, and we can put them on the public hearing date. So you could look at them, decide which one you like, and then we would also ask at the time, if you picked one, that you'd also approve going out to bid for the construction services, based on the diagrams that you see. That would be-
You've seen two, but you're waiting for number three.
Oh, I've seen multiple versions.
No, but I mean, you,
I think we're at the point where we'll have, one basic one and two strong ones,
two what?
stronger ones,
Stronger,
right,
more money.
yes. But within the confines of the bid, no additions.
So can you meet on the agenda that they have to approve one of the plans and then approve going out to bid?
Yes,
Okay.
for construction and management services, right? Right.
That's what's going on.
I believe so. I'll get back to you on that. We'll make sure that the terminology is correct with the architect.
Okay, this is for New Road and 10 Rod Road intersection, traffic safety issues.
So I regret to tell you that putting a couple calls, texts as his voicemail asked me to, and the gentleman we didn't really have to go out to bid because he was under that 5,000 thing, but I got the 4 quotes. He was the lowest number by a pretty good margin, and he hasn't answered me back, so I have nothing. I probably called and texted 5 times over the last month, and I've gotten nothing. So I don't know if he's out of the country, I don't know what he does other than this, but I'm getting no response. So I don't know if you want me to give it a little more time, try to continue to reach him.
Who is it?
We awarded it to Chris Palmer. He's a resident.
Yeah, and he
He's
hasn't.
very capable. He did a great job on West Shore.
Too busy.
He's busy, and there was the winter months, and I'm not throwing him under the bus by any means, but I don't like not coming back with a solid answer for you, but I don't have one because I'm not getting any response.
He's busy.
Yeah. So I know he's capable, and he said that, oh yeah, we're past this. This is the last conversation we actually had talking, not face to face, and he's like, now that we're past the winter months, now we just got to get through the rainy, and then he's gonna get us on the schedule, but time's just going on now, and I don't wanna, again, I don't have anything good to report because I haven't gotten any responses, so I don't feel good about that. I feel like I'm dropping the ball, but I'm trying, and I'm not getting anywhere.
So we're gonna try someone else, or?
Well, I mean, what do you think? Maybe give him a couple more weeks, give it back to me, or do you want me to move on? Because there was others on that list. Unfortunately, I would have to go out to bid because the numbers are that close to where I got written quotes with the $5,000 rule that we have, that we're working with. Everything, if everything expanded to 10,000, it would change the whole schedule. However, that's not the way it is right now, but in other words, he was below that. Others were just beyond that. So, I don't know. That's my report. I don't know what you want me to do with that.
I would give him.
Give him a couple.
Yeah, I agree, and again, I'm not throwing anybody on the bus. I know he's super busy, but the courtesy right now of a phone call, especially because I was like, I'm seeing council this coming week, and can you give me some updates? That's what they're looking for. So get me on the schedule, and that's the type of messages, and the recording on this business is either text, email, or voice call, and I've done all 3. So, and I've gotten no response in this last month.
I'll try to reach out.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just either, I don't know, he's busy. So, maybe next month I'll have a better answer if that's fine with council, I mean, hopefully it's scheduled.
He'll call me in the morning. Let's see what he says.
Diane, can I speak to this? I think the fact that it's on the radar, at least, doing some work there, it hasn't been. But the other issue, I know you've probably talked about this, is the state involving the state with the, you know, the scenic things.
Yeah,
And every time I look at it, I saw those rocks, you know, that's what you said you were gonna promise to do a nice
well, right.
cleanup job for them.
To add to that, Cal, basically, I wanna find out where our jurisdiction
Yeah.
is, where the states is, where the
Yeah.
landowners are there, and
Sure.
see what we can do with it, and make it, and once we get in there, I guarantee if my hands are on it, it's gonna look better than it does right now, because it's a mess. There's one wall that's just thrown together, and it's just rocks rolled down to the road, it's a mess.
Okay, he called me back, he texted me back. He'll talk to me tomorrow, I'll see if I can't get you tonight.
Now I know how to go to.
This is Chris Farmer?
Yes.
Oh, good.
He was on my planning board, so
Oh, I know, he was.
You're
yeah.
keeping them too busy.
he'll get back to me and then we'll.
Thank
Oh,
you.
good,
Thank you.
okay.
Okay,
You want
and the RI 250 mission,
I know, I think we had a little bit of a report on that, so. And they did have a booth stand, whatever, Saturday up at the, what's it called, Spring Market at the library.
okay, communications.
Oh, beautiful, thank you. Here's,
I was gonna say,
No, number two.
It's just a
Copy.
one-page thing from the reimbursement for Kirby.
yeah.
I already talked to him about that.
Ray,
Well, look at the company.
Oh, this is the Cedar Grove.
Right.
Okay,
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, you had two.
Two, yes. This is from a gentleman on 1 Cedar Grove Drive, Charlie Almore. And just saying, I'm writing conformity report damage on property 1 Cedar Grove Drive during the visit. On February 23rd, 2026, and one of the exit snow plows hit our berm, which separates our front lawn from the road and broke in several pieces after the snow cleared. We found that there's no way for us to repair the berm correctly. We're looking for compensation to replace it as soon as possible, and so on and so forth. So, Rob?
Yep.
No, I just wanna read that,
Oh, yeah.
because I encourage people to do that.
Absolutely. In fact, I met with this gentleman the very next day that I seen this communication and explained to him that at this time of year, that's exactly the stuff that we're actually performing, is plow damage and things like that. His berm, although it is town property and there's no real compensation that we would do, we're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
And right now, we put the pieces back in place until we get enough work in that neighborhood with hot mix, and we'll make him a brand new berm. And he's very happy with that. He was pleased that I stopped by in person and explained it to him. And I think he's very happy with my plan to fix it.
Beautiful, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
He was kind and not belligerent.
No, he was very nice.
Yeah.
No?
You know, sometimes you're not that lucky.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely.
And then I pulled four. We've done this last year and years before. The Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day. And we put out a flag last year.
Didn't I run past? We already had that, right? Yeah.
Oh, it was April 24th. Too late.
Good intentions.
Next year.
Hey, Bill.
Good intentions.
Bill.
Should have seen that.
Bill. Now he texted me. Thank you.
I got your back.
Got to the right guy.
I got your back.
Takes a team.
With that,
The surveyor.
I know, yeah, thank you, Bill.
It's a
And
team
then,
work.
I pulled 7, I don't know if these House bills are.
Could I go backwards a little bit? I don't know if this is proper, but I did get a response now from the gentleman who's gonna do the surveying. And is it proper to do that, or did I miss it? The update?
No, go ahead.
So I actually have an update thanks to Bill. And he says, Friday or Monday, he will schedule it to get done. So that's fantastic news.
Wow, beautiful, alright?
Thank you, Bill.
Remember, now we know who they are.
Right?
We want anything done, go to Bill.
You gotta grease the wheels here.
I'm not sure what the status is on these gun bills, but this was those House bills 7035, there were like 5 or 6 of them. And they were,
What number did you pull?
number 7.
7.
A, B, or C?
Probably vehicle.
The house,
No,
what
B.
is the bill number? B?
It was, I'm not sure if it's over or whatever, it was the one, House bill, H 7035.
Yeah, B.
See,
B.
Anyway, I just think a lot of those violated our Second Amendment rights, and totally opposed to it.
Agreed.
So if we could exit or out of that was it. Yeah, but I was, it was about the Mount Town, road, the bridge. It was just, I just wanted, to say what they had said about it, that it was in poor condition. And, I think Bill is working on a grant for it.
Actually, if I could, we missed out on that grant. However, there is another one in the pipeline with DEM right now, and I'll be putting out my specs probably tomorrow, the next day, for the engineering, so we can get that bridge plated, which would buy us time to receive more grants. And regarding that bridge, there's a new line item, right, Maria, that is gonna be bridge and culverts. We're proposing to move funding into that so we can have the engineering and the plating done to buy us time until we can seek more grant money, get more town money, whatever it's gonna take to really see that project start to finish, or where, it's not only a repair, but a replacement at this point. That's what it needs, but we need time to get the money, so that's what the plating, the first step is gonna be plating to get it. But about that letter, the good news about that letter is no change as far as the GVW, the amount of weight it still holds. It will still hold a loaded school bus, which is the most thing, so the best thing, so we can, the school bus route is not affected at this time. It's on my radar, like, exceptionally, like a lot, so we're trying to get some items lined up to really fix Mount Tom, and then the next one's behind it, and that's why that new account is bridges, culverts. It's be a place to put funding for the next one in line, because it won't be the last one, I'm sure.
Okay.
Can I go back to the signage?
Yes.
So we want to group it all, that's what we're trying to do that, for the roads and here. that's what you wanna go in the budget for, right? Is that, no?
No, you just wanted the LED sign or whatever was
Yeah.
approvable, I guess.
So we're gonna put that, we're
That's
gonna
gonna
talk
be
about
discussed
that
in the
next
budget,
week.
right?
Okay, so that's what we'll do. Okay,
That was it.
so the,
Because the in and out has already been discussed, there was, and I think we have an idea of what we can do with those kind of
okay,
cut signs. Yours is different. So,
okay,
yeah.
all right, good. That's what we're doing, we're gonna talk about next week.
Okay.
Not that we have any real budget going. Maria?
How much is it? Do you know how much?
Huh?
Yeah, how much?
1 trillion.
20,000.
We don't need a sign, we sign language.
Well,
Pull it out there.
So we can, we'll talk about it Monday. We can
Gotta
write
put
it
your
out.
picture on, Maria.
Show us the money, Maria.
Forget it.
Anyway, why don't we go into a 5-minute recess for executive session?
I'm in it, take a motion. Second, all in favor? Aye.
Where's the button? Same little red button.